Indiana Farm and Country, brought to you in part by the following: True Point Cooperative, customer driven, shared success; Koenig Equipment; and Allen Davis Insurance for total farm protection. Koenig Equipment for quality, reliability, and great support. For large ag, small ag, and turf, or any application, you can count on our 100-plus years of experience every time you get behind the wheel. Koenig Equipment stands behind our products with responsive repair and maintenance. At Koenig, you choose the maintenance program that works best for you, designed for your operation. Koenig is there to ensure your equipment runs smoothly all season long. Think Koenig Equipment.
Big Oil presents Mr. Slick and Dummy.
Do you know what the RFS is, dummy? It's a renewable fuel standard. It requires the oil companies to blend renewable fuels with their gasoline.
And that's real bad, right?
Yeah, the big oil, because it means we use less oil and more renewable, dummy.
Why doesn't Big Oil want you to know the RFS is good for America? You're no dummy. Don't let the oil industry treat you like one.
Hello again, everyone, and welcome back to another edition of Indiana Farm and Country. Big Dan Wilson alongside of Gary Jackson, and we're at a very familiar place to our farmers up here in northeast Indiana. We're at the Coliseum in Fort Wayne for the Fort Wayne Farm Show.
And folks, I would say, Dan, in not only this part of Indiana, but also Ohio, that state up north as well. Yeah, I guess I could say Michigan. It's after football season, isn't it? And all the folks beyond that come to the Fort Wayne Farm Show. It's been going on. This is the 25th year, and it's grown every year. The technology, the advancements in agriculture are shown here every year. And but actually, you know, it's still just the tip of the iceberg, what we can bring you and what's really happening.
So we'll have those stories and more. We want to thank our fine sponsors once again, our friends here at True Point, Koenig Equipment, of course, Allen Davis Insurance. We'll have all that and more this week on Indiana Farm and Country. True Point has high-quality products for your livestock needs, and our expert on-time and reliable services support the best programs and analysis to help ensure your livestock herds and flocks are healthy and profitable. At True Point, we care about food and farming, and it's our mission to support you in your efforts to provide safe, affordable food for the world and your family. For energy, turf, grain, feed, agronomy, farm, and home, remember True Point.
Who thinks more about the future than a farmer? You're deeply invested in prolonging the legacy you've inherited and built upon, because a farm is more than just another business. It's tightly tied to the family that runs it. Decisions you make today carry the weight of future generations. When you consult with others about your operation, look for strength and long-range commitment. Depend on Rural Community Insurance Services, committed to protecting American farmers for a long time to come.
Hello once again, everyone. From the Fort Wayne Farm Show in Fort Wayne, Indiana, we're visiting with Rick Robertson of True Point Cooperative. Rick has been in the agricultural industry for a number of years. Rick, can you give us a little bit of background on your agricultural background?
Well, I was raised in southern Indiana, southwestern Indiana, from a farming background. Went to Purdue University, graduated in 1982, moved to northeast Indiana, and been involved in agriculture sales ever since then.
Rick, can you tell us a little bit about some of the more of the efficiencies that this facility at Milford is going to be able to bring farmers in that geographic area?
Yes, we've got a state-of-the-art facility, whether it's our dry fertilizer building, which has tower blenders. We can load a semi in 7 minutes, a semi-load of dry fertilizer. So we're going to be more efficient. There will be less time waiting in line. Getting equipment out, keeping our equipment running. We're going to have plenty of tender equipment to take care of that. We can load semi-load of solution and herbicide in 17 minutes. We can hot load chemicals and solution for growers. They can come in and pick it up already hot loaded, take it right to the farm to nurse their own sprayers. And we'll be able to load them very quickly. Anhydrous ammonia, we can load 16 anhydrous ammonia wagons at the same time, and they can all be loaded in the same 15 minutes. So there's going to be very little wait as far as when a person comes. or our equipment doesn't have to wait to get loaded to get back out. Whether we're nursing our own equipment or nursing your equipment, we're going to be able to take care of you better, more efficiently.
So not only are you coming into an area that you're able to service now, but you're going to be coming in with the services that are just top of the line. And I guess you touched on the key word, efficiency, and that affects that bottom line for the farmer, and in some cases helps determine whether they have a profitable year or not.
That's correct. And we're going to have 2 bays that operate 24 hours a day through a card system to where a gentleman can come in and pick up 1034 or 28%. They can pick that up 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on their schedule, not ours.
Visiting with Spencer Penrod. Spencer, with True Point Cooperative, you have certain responsibilities, but before we get there, give us a little bit of background on you, agriculturally speaking.
Well, I grew up in North Manchester, Indiana. Been there in my entire life, and actually just bought a house there. I grew up with a dairy background. My uncle milks cows in the farm that my dad grew up on, and his brothers and sisters, and have been involved in dairy my entire life. I judged dairy at Purdue University and have been an official at multiple contests and at both the local, state, and national level. My dad is a grain farmer in North Manchester. He farms about 800 acres of corn, soybeans, and just a little bit of wheat, and I like to help him out wherever I can. And just really stay involved with the production side of agriculture, as that helps me do my job better.
Well, tell us a little bit about the geographic area that you'll be serving for True Point.
Currently, I'll be serving the northern part of Wabash County, southern part of Kosciuszko County, and then surrounding areas such as southern Whitley County, western Huntington County, and eastern Miami County.
Well, as I understand, that area has a diversity of various agricultural operations from soil types and whatever. Is that difficult or is it challenging to try to come up with answers to maybe some different kinds of problems?
It can be very challenging. There's fields where you have 10 to 15 different soil types in one field. So finding the right hybrid, the right nutrient plan can be very challenging. Fortunately, we have a great team behind us. Our precision team that does soil sampling, makes fertilizer recommendations, and we also have the ability to variable rate spread our fertilizer, variable rate our anhydrous, the 28, and so True Point, being a very progressive company, has the ability to match those needs across a large variation. And we can go as far as from corn, soybeans, and wheat to tomatoes that are a product that's coming into the area very heavily. And that's something that we have to meet and be able to service well with solutions and products that help them out.
What has been the general feedback that you've been getting from farmers in the area, knowing that True Point is there and is going to be having even more services?
The reception has just been great. Guys are very, very excited about some more competition being in the area, another price, another face, another set of ideas. Everybody likes to have options. Nobody wants to be nailed down to one thing and feel like that's what they have to do. So guys have been very, very excited and really eager to work.
Now, as far as True Point with the Milford facility, and I'm sure that there's been talk about even more services coming in the future. Have you had a chance to get everything down, what you're doing now? And of course, the facility is still under construction, and I guess that has to be a little frustrating at times.
It is somewhat frustrating. There's some people who want to see the facility, they want to see its capabilities, and that's going to make them more comfortable once that's complete. The benefit we do have is the Milford location is a sister location to 2 places we have in Ohio, and those have been up and running, one for 2 years, one for about 15 years. And those are places that we can take growers to show them that, yes, we can service a 60-mile radius. We can do things as efficiently and as fast as we say we can, and that we'll be able to service them the way we promise.
Well, with the various locations in the True Point system, in other locations, just knowing that there are other employees and the services that already exist and the efficiencies that they bring into the Milford area, that has to be something that is a potential draw for the farmers that are already there.
Yes, it definitely is. And like I said before, I'm utilizing, as are my colleagues, utilizing those other facilities to bring other salespeople into the area to speak about what they've been doing and how things work. And that way it's not just coming from me, it's coming from somebody who has experience in that area and has done it for a while. And then also just getting them on the facility to show this is the way things will flow, this is why things will work the way they say they will. And that's just a huge help as guys start asking about what our capabilities are.
Well, Spencer, if folks would like to get some more information, some of the viewers watching right now would like to get a little bit more information, what's the best way for them to do that?
The best way would go online. Our website is truepoint.com. That's TRUPOINTE.com. And then if you want more information about the Milford location, it's truepointcustomerdriven.com.
Very good. Spencer Penrod has been our guest. Spencer, thanks for being with us.
Thank you.
And stay with us. We'll be back with more right after this.
Alan Davis, business owner, active farmer. Nobody understands farmers' needs better than Alan. For total farm protection, call today.
Alan Davis Insurance and Financial Services. Alan Davis Insurance, your solutions provider.
Koenig Equipment for quality, reliability, and great support. For large ag, small ag, and turf, or any application, you can count on our 100-plus years of experience every time you get behind the wheel. Koenig Equipment stands behind our products with responsive repair and maintenance. At Koenig, you choose the maintenance program that works best for you, designed for your operation. Koenig is there to ensure your equipment runs smoothly all season long. Think Koenig Equipment.
I'm Mark Burns with the Application Equipment Division within Case IH, and today we're going to talk a little bit about crop chemical application without compromise. And really, when you think about it, the world of agriculture is constantly changing, but the one thing that doesn't change and the one thing that is held constant is the desire to make the most out of every acre as far as that productivity goes. Greg Kruger with the University of Nebraska has done some extensive work in the area of droplet size and its effect on herbicides, so we're going to hear a little bit from him at this point.
With Roundup, we know that the herbicide works really well with large droplets, and the beautiful thing about that is that with large droplets we also have less drift. Now that we've had a few cases of Roundup resistant weeds in the U.S. and particularly here in the Midwest, we're looking at alternative modes of action to try to manage our weeds. So adding these new modes of action brings in a whole new challenge to weed management. Looking at droplet size and stuff has become critical because these new herbicides don't all behave the same way that Roundup does. Some of these herbicides actually behave work a lot more effectively when we have a small droplet.
And that's really where we can help by providing, a good consistent coverage and making the most out of that chemical investment that's out there. Really, when you start thinking about some of the challenges that producers and applicators face, really comes into getting into the field at the right time, or the timeliness of the application. And secondly, and probably equally as important, is the quality of application, making sure that we're getting the right amount of product at the right droplet size in the right parts of the field. And really being able to make the most out of every chemical drop that comes out of that sprayer. There are 6 drivers of application quality: accurate rate for the job, optimal droplet size for chemical or combination of chemicals being used, consistent coverage, avoiding both overlaps and skips, timeliness, and drift control. Based on our experience and in conversations with producers just like you, really led us to focus on addressing those quality of application drivers. And those conversations really led to what you see as the Patriot sprayer today. We started talking about the drivers that really affect the quality of application, and one of those was the consistent coverage that we're trying to get even when conditions don't necessarily work in our favor. One of the biggest things that we try to look at is strength and durability in the spray boom, and that really is driven by field experience, some solid engineering time, and then also feedback from our customers. In addition to that, we start looking at the suspension on the boom and making sure we're providing a good, solid, stable ride for that boom as it goes over the field and over those different terrain obstacles. Because ultimately what we're looking for is a constant spray pattern height so we get the good chemical overlap that's coming out of our spray tips. And then lastly, using technology that's out there to help make our job easier, removing some of the fatigue that the operator has and continually trying to maintain that optimal spray platform. And with the automatic boom height control, we have that capability using ultrasonic sensors on each boom section as well as the center of the machine to automatically adjust that height and maintain that good consistent boom height platform that we're looking for. And then if you really get into some challenging conditions, being able to add in additional boom sensors or even gauge wheels to aid in making sure that we're getting that good spray pattern overlap. Another agronomic design feature of the Patriot sprayer that helps address that quality of application is the AccuBoom automatic section control. Using the technology that's on the machine to turn the spray system on when it needs to be on and to turn it off when it needs to be off. Using the technology to make sure that we're getting the right amount of product where we intend it to be and only in those areas. From a quality of application perspective, there really is no more important feature than what comes out of the spray tip. And the exclusive AIM Command spray system technology on a Case IH Patriot sprayer addresses every factor that really comes into play from a quality application standpoint. First of all, being able to make sure we put the right amount of product on. Using pulse width modulation technology through the solenoids on each nozzle body, pulsing at 10 times per second is going to provide that constant application rate we're looking for. If we're looking for 10 gallons per acre application rate target, the nozzles will pulse 10 times a second to put on that 10-gallon rate. Secondly, really driving that consistent droplet size over the entire field range from slow speeds to high speed, we're using the product pump to maintain that constant pressure. And that adjusts with the pulsing of the solenoids to give us the right rate at the right pressure, even as that speed of the sprayer changes. In addition to that, we can use two different preset pressure selections in the cab. One for the majority of the field interior, where we're looking for a consistent droplet size, say at 40 psi. When we get to an area that's drift sensitive, or maybe the wind comes up a little bit, we can toggle to a second lower pressure, which is going to give us a bigger droplet and help maintain and provide that droplet to get where it needs to be and not go off target. Tying that in with automatic boom height control that the Auto Boom provides really gives you that best possible coverage. When we start looking at AIM Command, there's a lot of opportunities that tie in with the AccuBoom system too, with an instant on and off. With a conventional sprayer system, when you turn the boom section off, there's a lag time that allows for that application to continue until the nozzle bodies actually shut the spray system off. Then when you turn the system back on, there is also a lag while that pressure builds back up and you get the proper overlap and the right rate that comes out. With AIM Command, we use the solenoid to shut the flow off instantaneously so we don't get that overlap, which can cause crop damage. And then when we turn the system back on, it comes on at the right rate, at the right pressure. So coming out of that headland, we get the best possible coverage, no skips, and no crop damage there as well. From a quality perspective, there really is nothing better than what the AIM Command system provides for us. The next opportunity, or the next evolution of that AIM Command spray system, is going to be AIM Command Pro. Taking into account everything that the AIM Command has laid out as far as advantages, we're going to take that one step further. Using nozzle by nozzle control, so instead of shutting off one boom section at a time, we're going to start shutting off individual nozzles. So you have a very finite shut-off point. So instead of shutting off 15 foot of boom at a crack, we're shutting off 20 inches of a spray boom at a crack. Really maximizing the use of that chemical and not getting that overlap where we don't need it. In addition, a feature called turn compensation, where as the machine starts to move around contours, we're adjusting the flow across the boom to make sure we're getting the right amount of product over each nozzle so that we're not under applying on the outside where the boom is traveling faster than the inside where we would be over applying and causing some serious damage. The most important agronomic challenge that we're faced with is the timeliness of application, and that's really where the agronomic design that comes into play with Patriot sprayers really shines. Putting that cab out front, the engine in the back to optimize that weight distribution front to rear, which is going to minimize our compaction and also our rutting potential when we get into those wetter soils. High quality and timely application is key to any chemical program as far as application goes. Not being able to hit those timely application windows or doing a less than ideal job has huge impacts in yield potential. Some university and company research shows that if weeds are allowed to emerge with corn and are left uncontrolled while the corn is growing from the V2 to V4 stage, the yield loss is usually more than 1 bushel per acre per day. Similarly, once weeds begin to impact soybean yield, each additional day they are allowed to compete can result in yield losses of up to 1% per day. To learn more about the Case IH agronomic design and to receive email updates, visit our website. Or to learn more about the Patriot sprayers, see your local Case IH dealer.
Koenig Equipment for quality, reliability, and great support. For large ag, small ag, and turf, or any application, you can count on our 100-plus years of experience every time you get behind the wheel. Koenig Equipment stands behind our products with responsive repair and maintenance. At Koenig, you choose the maintenance program that works best for you, designed for your operation. Koenig is there to ensure your equipment runs smoothly all season long. Think Koenig Equipment. Hello again, everyone, and welcome back to another edition of Indiana Farm and Country. Joining me now is Roger Hadley, and Roger is president of the Allen County Farm Bureau, which is part of the Indiana Farm Bureau. And Roger, how are you doing today?
I'm doing wonderful today. At least it's not 40 below zero wind chill.
Roger's from Woodburn, Indiana, and Roger, let's talk a little bit about your growing up on the farm in northeast Indiana.
I was born in Woodburn, Indiana. Been on the farm all my life, went to Purdue, worked for a seed company for a while along with farming, and went back into full-time farming back in 1988. So I've been farming ever since I was, I guess first got on a tractor about 12 years of age.
Roger, what got you started in the Farm Bureau?
Well, when I graduated from college, it was back in about 1980, about 80, a neighbor came over and said, "You need to be a member of Farm Bureau." So I joined Farm Bureau membership, and in '88, after I left the seed company, I got involved in the Soybean Association. And as I got involved in Soybean Association, the state put me on as a board member on the State Farm Bureau, not a board member, but a committee member on the Crops Committee. And I've been involved in Farm Bureau at some level ever since then.
You know, the Indiana Farm Bureau is one of the stronger farm bureaus as part of the American Farm Bureau Federation. And let's talk about the strength and what it means for our farmer patrons to be associated with the Farm Bureau. What are the benefits?
Probably one of the biggest benefits is our numbers. With the Indiana Farm Bureau and the National Farm Bureau, we represent farmers. I would call it a shotgun organization. So we represent all the different crops, not just corn, not just soybeans, but your rice, tobacco, cotton, vegetable crops. That from the Midwest side can maybe be a little bit of a hampering because emphasis is put on everything from around the country. From our Midwest standpoint, we mostly worry about corn, soybeans, wheat, and the livestock sides. But with the numbers we have country-wise, when we talk to our legislators, whether it's in-state, whether it's national, they know Farm Bureau, we're the largest number and organization-wise, and we're easy to reach, and we have their eye whenever we start talking, and their ear. As a Farm Bureau member, we have somebody that represents you and works with you no matter what you're growing. Yes, there may be more emphasis in the Midwest put on the corn, put on the soybeans, put on the livestock side, but there is tobacco in Indiana, there is grapes in Indiana, there's vegetable crops. There's somebody working for those areas that honeybees. Most of them don't think of honeybees. There's people working with honeybees. So we cover and are involved policy-wide on every issue that may come up out in the countryside. We do. Policy-wise, Don Vilwalk, our state president, and he's been president for, I'm going to say it's been about 12 years. I can't remember exactly when he became president. He's on several national committees. Yesterday at the policy meeting in San Antonio, Texas, when the president and or vice president was taking a break Don Vilwalk was the next one in line they had up there at the podium, helping run our policy side. He's just involved in many, many things. He's high up on the insurance board. I think he may be the president of the insurance board for the whole country. So we have got very, very active leadership in Indiana that goes all the way to national.
So irregardless of the size of your family farm, whether you're doing specialty crops, so a roadside market, or you're one of those fine wheat and corn and soybean growers here in Indiana, the Indiana Farm Bureau is for you. Roger, thanks for joining us.
You're more than welcome.
Big Oil presents Mr. Slick and Dummy.
Do you know what the RFS is, dummy? It's the Renewable Fuel Standard. It requires the oil companies to blend renewable fuels with their gasoline.
And that's real bad, right?
Yeah, for Big Oil, because it means we use less oil and more renewable, dummy.
Why doesn't Big Oil want you to know the RFS is good for America? You're no dummy. Don't let the oil industry treat you like one.
That's going to do it for this week's edition of Indiana Farm and Country. Big Dan Wilson alongside of Gary Jackson, and a lot to see here at the Farm Show in Fort Wayne.
Every year, this is the 25th year, Dan. If you're watching us right now, you missed it this year, but hopefully we can bring you a little bit, a touch, if you will, of what really went on, maybe some of the advancements that's going on in agriculture today.
And if you want more information, you can always check us out on the web, and we'll have that information for you there. And once again, I hope you had a good day today, and we'll see you again next week on Indiana Farm and Country.